individuality makes us insecure. In the book called Individualization, the sociologist Ulrich Beck writes about individualism and class in Western culture. He uses the word individualization, which basically means the institutionalization of individualism. Beck says that in places where individualism has succeeded, a self-culture was born. Remember, throughout the majority of human history, most people did not carry this concept in their heads of each of us being unique individuals with God-given souls. This idea was more specifically tied to Enlightenment culture in Europe during the Middle Ages. It's obviously very widespread today, but still primarily just in the quote-unquote noble modern Western countries. This is not the norm in many parts of the world at all. But self-culture itself has two main aspects. Number one is recognition of the indeterminacy of the self, along with the ensuing crises and opportunities of this. Number two is the bonding of self-oriented individuals to each other or against others. And that's number two. In our self-culture, we understand that it's hard to figure out who we are and that life is a complex roller coaster with moral hills and valleys. We also form tribal groups and unite against other groups. The existential angst of self-culture was first addressed with what was negatively seen as a post-traditionalist lifestyle. That's right. Enlightenment individualism was seen as bad and radical. It was seen as a bad and radical thing to traditionalists at the time. Remember, this is around the time when rationalism and individualism were secularizing culture and breaking down theocracies. The compulsion and pleasure of leading an insecure life on your own terms and coordinating with other individuals was fucking revolutionary at the time. Think about how much stronger class division was under feudalism, monarchy, and theocracy. It was a fucking caste system, not a class system, a caste system. I can say that. Basically, if you're born as a prince, you'll be a king. If your father is a blacksmith, you'll be a blacksmith. If you're a poor peasant girl, you'll have to marry some random guy chosen by your father. In my last video on this book, I commented on Marx praising capitalism. That's right. Dumbass crackpot pseudo-intellectuals like Jordan Peterson and James Lindsay are fucking clueless when it comes to Marxism, especially Peterson. Contrary to what they will ignorantly and confidently tell you, Marx didn't hate capitalism across the board. He fucking praised it for bringing society out of feudalism because it decimated class division. He really is that strong in the way he words that message. So, Beck writes about individualization or the institutionalization of individualism. Us all being unique and special individuals with God-given Christian souls was fucking radical during the Enlightenment. That was like a progressive thing. But that was not at all the way people thought throughout the majority of human history. People were in general forced to just accept their place. And this idea is still not how a hell of a lot of countries operate even today in the modern Western world. They don't and didn't think that everyone is a special and unique snowflake and can shape their own lives however they see fit. To most people across the world during an enormous percentage of human history, that would have been a strange and uncomfortable idea. It's also important that, contrary to what pseudo-intellectual dumbasses like Jordan Peterson, James Lindsay, Russell Brand, and Brett Weinstein say, this whole grand concept of the holy and unique self is sure as fuck not objectively correct or, the way they make it sound. Self-culture is not the best for everyone. It's actually a terrible idea for some people, and others just don't like it. Under self-culture, we recognize the challenges of identifying who we are, navigating the wild and surprising roller coaster of life, and we coordinate our lives with other self-driven individuals. When secularism and individualism were tearing down theocracies and feudalism during the Enlightenment in Europe, Traditionalists fucking hated individualism. They saw it as a rebellious and reprehensible post-traditionalist lifestyle. So actually, Peterson, Lindsay, Brand, and Weinstein are the real evil radicals, but not in the way they want you to think. They're actually rich elites and they're claiming to be against the elites. Anyway, they're the real evil radicals. They're all, though I obviously don't think they're actually evil. They're all going around evangelizing about individualism all the time, though, right? But why the hell should anyone agree with them? I'm sure as fuck not saying that feudalism, monarchy, and theocracy are good or preferable to Enlightenment individualism, but it's not fucking special at all, man. And think about how much individualism contributes to us having such an enormous amount of trouble on average with figuring out who we are, along with navigating the complex struggles and opportunities of life. As everyone knows, life is fucking hard, man. It's certainly not the case that every single person in modern Western culture benefits from individualization. There are obviously countless poor, homeless, and starving people. Some of them would have just been essentially guaranteed to do even worse under feudalism, but some of us would probably be doing better than we are now, man. Life is fucking hard. How the hell are we supposed to each figure it out all by ourselves? What will we do with our lives? How do we figure out our careers? How do we help our families? How much can we work at our jobs that we hate so we can barely survive and maybe also buy some shiny new trinket like the latest iPhone so we can all tell everyone on Twitter about how we feel about Trump and Elon Musk? Or for some people, how do I get my crack addict father to stop raping my mom and beating me? Life is hard. No one gets out alive. Individuality makes us insecure.